Welcome to Kohi Beans, the best anime podcast that has ever existed or will ever exist. I'm Josh.
I'm Alina.
And we are here to bring you the usual. We're going to talk about anime. And first, we're going to free talk. But first, before the free talk, let's talk about our social media pages, which you should totally follow.
We've got Twitter.
And
Instagram.
And
YouTube.
And
Discord.
And
Coffee.
Yeah, go check out all of those. Preferably in that order. Actually, I would say our Instagram is the littest.
And our
of
Twitter.
Our social media. And our Twitter is the littiest.
I mean, I'm more of a Twitter person, but Instagram's a close second.
I like Instagram. I can't really say why, but
works for you.
I think it's easier.
We do have a Facebook. I almost
We
forgot
also do have a
about that
Facebook,
one.
but that one's kind of dead.
It's not dead. It's alive. I take care of it.
It's alive.
Like it's my pet. A pet fish.
The pet fish.
Yeah. We love them all, though.
Instagram's like our dog. Facebook's like our fish.
No. Wait, fish. What about Twitter? Our bird?
Yes, our bird.
A cat.
Our parrot.
A parrot.
And it'll be dancing to Buttercup by Jack Stauber.
Okay, yes.
You
You should probably link that below.
Oh, that's a meme.
Uh-huh.
That is very obscure.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But go to the subreddit Birds Dancing.
Yes.
You'll find it.
All right, free talk?
Let's do it.
So I forgot today is Saturday, and I haven't read the new, some of the new weekly Shonen Jump.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it comes out earlier today. Most of it comes out tomorrow for our time zone.
Right.
So yeah, I didn't read it. I did read a new chapter of my lately favorite shoujo manga, and it's gotten so good. But I have to wait till next week for a new chapter. That one's actually twice a month. I didn't realize, but that's kind of nice, so I don't have to wait too long. And the chapters are usually like at least 20 pages, so that's really nice.
Yeah, 2 weeks is like nothing.
Yeah, it isn't.
It's pretty
but I used to think it was monthly, so I just check back monthly.
You get 2 chapters.
Depending on the time of month, I would get 2 chapters. And sometimes there's just one, because I checked like the day before the next one came out. But it's nice to actually know that I don't have to wait a month for more content. And like, sure, it doesn't have to be like a lot of content. I just want like a little more each time. Yeah. So how about you?
Anime wise, what did I really do? Did we talk about how I started Magical Index?
A little bit. Did you watch more of it?
I watched no, but I'm just remembering, and I'm like, maybe I should keep watching it, because there were some parts of it that I liked about, like, you were trying to bag on it a little bit.
I know about the series, not like a good amount at least. I think you have to get through the first part to really be able to have a good understanding of all the other spin-offs and like second seasons and things. I think really just the first season's the most important. There's different, how do you say, versions that they do, because there's different perspectives in the spin-offs. And it's kind of interesting to see how they do that in the various iterations of the 2Aru series.
Yeah.
Because, there's like the main one, and there's like the spin-off, and there's like another spin-off. And in the beginning, they all kind of start the same event, but different ways of it.
Yeah, just like different routes, right?
Is
it a visual novel?
No, it's a light novel series.
Oh, it's a light novel. Wow, a light novel.
It's a really long light
interesting.
novel. It already has its sequel light novel series has been out for a while. That's when I stopped reading it. So I read the whole translated main series a long time ago. That's
impressive.
Yeah, it really is, actually. I don't know how I went through all of that. Like,
suffered through it.
Not like there's good and bad moments. When I got dry, I just skipped to the parts that were good. Skimmed it until I got to, ooh, this part's juicy. But yeah, it's not a bad series to watch if you want to continue it. It's just that the first one's kind of old now, just like the Studio D.
Is that the one that we watched?
Yeah, that's the very first
Index?
one. I mean, the newest one of the spin-off.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. The newest season of the spin-off is coming out right now, or it just ended. So like, it's still going.
Damn, that is a pedigree series. I didn't realize.
It's kind of old, yeah.
I mean, I haven't really had a friend that was like my favorite show.
I don't think it's a favorite of most people. I think you just kind of know it and like you can consume it. But it's kind of complex, so it's not easy to just talk about with people, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of facets to it, and like everything I've read on forums that currently exist was like enough for me to be like, yeah, okay, cool. I wasn't gonna argue with people about like power tiers. This guy's more powerful than this guy.
I think the girl with the electricity powers was really powerful.
I mean, it's also like partially physics, and I'm not good at math and science, so like I don't really bother with arguing about that.
I mean, it's still a fantasy at the end of the day.
Yeah,
sure, they incorporate real physics. There's
a lot involved together, and I'm just like, sure. It's kind of those series where you just have to accept the rules for it, you know? And that's just like how the world functions. It's easier to just be like, yeah, sure, that's how it works. Even if I'm not sure, like, it's actually...
Suspend your disbelief.
Yeah. Like, a lot of it is like, this probably wouldn't work, but for this world that they're in this particular place, it works.
Okay. Sounds good. I also, apart from wanting to watch that, I'm about to snap and start watching Prisma Ilia.
Oh, you are?
Because I saw YouTube, like, okay, I clicked on one random Fate meme video.
You were watching
I was watching.
Is it Emiya cooking show?
I watched one Emiya cooking show video,
like a clip,
and now I'm watching like all the Fate videos on YouTube because YouTube is like, oh, you like that shit? Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
machine gunning me with recommendations.
I actually haven't watched the Ilia Prisma anime.
I thought it was Prisma Ilia.
Sorry, Prisma Ilia.
I don't know which one it is.
I'll call it. I just call it Magical Girl Ilia. That's pretty much the premise of it, you know. But I mean, I read the manga for it actually. Well, okay, no, I read the manga starting on its second season because it splits into separate like groupings, kind of like Naruto Shippuden. It'll do like Ilia 1, 2, 3, 4. I left off on 4. But I actually started from 2, and I just had to like take a lot of context clues because I didn't want to go back and read 1 because I already got to that point, and I'm like, well, a lot of stuff is happening. Yeah, I'm not gonna go back and read what happens till this build up. So we can watch it together if you want.
Yeah, I just remember when we tried to watch it, we couldn't find it in a decent quality. It was like butt quality.
You're the one that is really picky about that. I'm used to having 240p.
I'm used to it, but we live in a society now, you know? We live in a better age than that.
You're saying that 5 years ago it wasn't that good? It's fine. It works.
5 years ago, I probably would have been fine with 480. Fine.
Okay.
5 years ago, fine.
Well, maybe we can find it
Actually,
somewhere.
maybe 720.
Sure. Yeah, you're picky.
I'm not... Does it not degrade from the enjoyment when you can't? What if you had to watch Haikyuu in 240p? Would you be happy about that?
I mean, I'm sure I can find the specific moments I want in
but
HQ.
Would you be happy about it?
I guess. I mean, I can watch it.
You can.
That's the main point. I want to be able to watch it. You know.
It's like salting your food. Like, yes, you can eat it without salt. You can have it non-sodium, but would you enjoy it?
I guess. Well, I just feel like you can watch it first, and then rewatching it in a higher quality for the like really good moments and appreciating it for that is fine to do later.
Okay. If you're in a circumstance where you can only watch it in low quality,
okay,
fine.
Yeah,
you can watch it.
That's what I mean.
But if I have the option,
okay,
and I can't I can't what do you call it? Get it to work, I'm gonna be upset because I know it's possible to get it, and then I can't get it in 1080p.
We'll just have to buy it on Blu-ray.
Blu-ray, right?
One day we'll fulfill your Blu-ray anime dream.
Yeah, I saw. I was watching on YouTube. The thing that made me want to watch it was there were scenes that didn't have Ilia in it. Yeah. I watched like Saber doing something, and I was like, oh, this series has actual like meat.
Saber?
It's not. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think she was in it.
Well,
maybe it was Saber, maybe it was Rin. I don't remember who.
Okay. I was gonna say, I was like, Something's different.
I don't know.
It's
on the front, it doesn't look like a very meaty show.
It's a very different kind of version of Fate.
Maybe it was a fight, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of fights in that one, actually. But yeah, it's a very different art style, design, studio, story. It's really just like another really fun magical girl with Fate included in an alternative universe, which is kind of what Fate is all about in the end.
So it's like a universe. Okay, because the way I understand how Fate, the Fates that we watched is like each. So the movies are like Sakura's route, Unlimited Blade Works is like Rin's route, and the original is Saber's route, right?
Well, there hasn't been a clear-cut Saber route because the original 2006...
It kind of mixed things around, right?
It mixed a lot of things around. So it wasn't like clear-cut, but for now, that's like the only Saber like more focused on. There's also an Unlimited Blade Works movie, but that one's... We don't talk about it.
What? Was it bad?
It wasn't bad, but it's a movie. You know, we got a whole anime season, like series that redid it in higher quality. Mm-hmm. I mean, people meme on it sometimes. They meme on
it was it was a movie before.
Yeah, there was an older movie before it became a series. So yeah, it was a 2006 kind of Saber route. What was it called? The Fate Stay Night, the original title. And then there's a movie. And then there was the Unlimited Blade Works anime. And then the Sakura Heaven's Feel movies.
Which are dope.
Yeah, I mean, they're good. Still waiting for that movie. I did try to look at the tickets, even though I don't really want to watch in person. And there were issues with their website, and I just kind of gave up because one said that they were sold out, another one said they weren't. And the movie theater closest to us was the only one in like this half of our state. So I'll wait for it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out when it comes out.
Yeah.
Our time will come. We're patient.
Blu-ray.
Actually, you know, I've kind of completely forgotten what happened in the second movie.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that later. Maybe we can get the Blu-ray and watch all three of them.
There's only a couple scenes that I remember.
Yes. Yeah, so you're saying about what alternative universes or routes?
Yeah, so is Prisma Ilya like the one where he picks Ilya?
No.
It's like a completely different thing.
Shiro is minor. It's Prisma Ilya. Ilya's the main character.
Okay.
I'm just saying that she's the main character in that one.
So, okay. So you know how in the Sakura movies, what do you call that series, that trilogy of movies anyway?
Heaven's Feel.
So in Heaven's Feel, Shiro never realizes that he's Archer.
He may or may not. I don't remember.
So, okay, so in some routes he does figure it out, and in some routes he just straight up doesn't. Like I don't like. How about in the original series? Does he know that?
Okay, I didn't play the visual novel. I think the only one he clearly really figures it out is Unlimited Blade Works.
That's why it's called that, right?
No, well, that's Archer's move. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the dimension that he creates.
Yeah, that like a special pocket of dimension.
Yeah, but that's like why
the reality marvel.
That's why that series is called that, because it focuses on
those and himself
figuring
in
out
a
that
sense.
He's Archer.
Yeah, well, there's also a little bit of weird stuff like Archer is him from a different timeline, but whatever.
Right.
But yeah, they're essentially the same person.
Okay.
Did we just spoil that?
Yeah, I'll put a spoiler before. I'll put a
Please, that's
spoiler.
kind of a big... it kind of ruins part of that
Spoilers
season.
for Unlimited Blade Work.
Yeah, we should probably put a spoiler mark.
I'll put it before.
Okay. Continuing from this, yeah, did you have any more questions about Ilya?
Yeah. So, okay, no, not just about Ilya, but like Fate continuity in general. So, if you go Unlimited Blade Works route, then Sakura, her shit's just never resolved. Like
they don't talk about it.
That sucks. So she's just still in the Mato household, being eaten by bugs. It's a
different universe, so it's a
completely different set of rules, basically. Like it's a completely different set of circumstances.
We don't know per se, but that is what a lot of people speculate, because you go from Fate Zero to one of the three routes. Yeah, it's kind of how it is.
That sucks because I really like Unlimited Blade Works' ending.
The ending is cool.
The thought of like Sakura still suffering sucks.
Yeah, I think that's also the ending of Heaven's Feel. From what I know about the actual ending, because I really only knew things up to where the second movie ended. Is what makes it a lot of people's favorite, you know, because each route has a different intention for what he goes for, right? The first one is like, what is it, like your ideal? Like Saber is like the ideal, not like person, but like follow your dreams ideal. His other one is like questioning, like, is it really worth it for yourself? And then the last one, right, is like, are you risking to focus on like one person versus like the world? Shit, there's a lot more better reasons to explain it, but that's how a lot of people consider.
Like, is it ethical to sacrifice the world for one person?
That's not really that.
Not that deep.
No, there's a different way of saying it that's a lot more like succinct and clear. I guess in a sense, I think it's like throwing away some of your original ideals to really like focus on one person. That's kind of
depends on
the
how
theme
that
of that
person
route.
Is.
Maybe that's how it is. And then the other one is like questioning your own ideals, and the last one is just going with your ideals, I guess. There's a lot of different ways to consider them, but yeah, I don't know. The visual novel's kind of outdated, so I don't really feel like I want to play it and learn more about it that way, because it just doesn't seem really in our like 2020 time, from what I heard about it.
doesn't feel it's outdated now.
Yeah,
waiting for the remaster.
It's been outdated.
Waiting for it to come out on Switch.
No, just like some scenes about it I've heard, and like stuff like that just wouldn't really fly that well now, you know? And that's like kind of showing its age, I guess.
Okay.
It would be interesting if they ever remastered it, but I kind of doubt it because there's like 5 other spin-offs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, is there like in Prisma Ilya, do you learn a lot about like the world of Fate, and like it changes how you how the other series feel? Like before we watched Heaven's Feel, I didn't know anything about Sakura other than that she shows up sometimes in Unlimited Blade Works and the other series.
Then I think,
and also in Zero, but then after watching Heaven's Feel, it's like all completely different.
Yeah.
Am I gonna get that if I watch Ilya?
No. Maybe.
Okay.
Well, you're gonna get a different perspective about different things. Prisma Ilya is not in the same world as the other ones that you've seen.
Okay,
so
far. It's like it's in a vacuum.
It's on its own. It's a completely different universe.
Interesting.
Or sorry, timeline.
Interesting.
I kind of get those mixed up, but yeah, it's very different. It's kind of like FGO is different from the Shiro route, technically. Like the whole Fate Stay Night series. It's a little different. Even though the characters are still there, there's technically different timeline discontinuities from like people can argue that.
Discontinuities. That's a hard word.
Thank you. I'm tired. Yeah, like you can kind of argue there's a difference in that one. So it gets a little confusing at times.
That is hella confusing. I don't even try to think about FGO's lore.
FGO's lore is just saying the battle that we see like Shiro and them do, like it's not the same battle, and that's where it splits, kind of.
So all it does is like say it's different, and then it makes its own kind of story.
Kind of. There's like different activities and different it's different people entirely that lead up to it, so it turns out kind of different. I mean, it lets it so they can make a whole new game, you know. But yeah, it's kind of how he can excuse it.
We'll watch it together.
Sure. Yeah. Tell me your opinions about it, because I've already read it and know about it.
But did you watch it?
No, I watched.
Oh, then
I watched like a couple of the action clips, and I was like, okay, it seems really cool and good enough. But like, I was too busy. Then
I just hope
watch
it's not like just Moe explosion.
Some of it's a little
like
bit
slice of life bullshit.
Some of it's a little bit. You're not gonna like all of it right away. Maybe at all, but
we'll see. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that was a lot of Fate talk. I hope you guys get interested. It's really convoluted. Yes. Well, okay, it's not the worst convoluted thing I've heard, but it can be confusing to start out.
Yeah, Fate is pretty deep.
Kind of.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, the lore is surprisingly big. I mean, a lot of it is just like, hey, what if we do this thing instead? Okay, sure, make a different timeline or universe for it. But sometimes the head guy, he can surprisingly pull strings and make it work very well. I don't know how he's been able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But if Oda can do that, right? Like reference things from like ages past and then bring it back up, like whether or not they actually had an intended plan, it's done well enough that people like get really surprised.
One Piece is cheating.
Maybe
nobody can attain that level.
Who knows? I don't know. They do things in Fate where they're like they reference something like 2 years beforehand, and now we're getting it. So it's like, did they just go back and dig up something like, hey, here's a possibility, or did they have it planned like 2 years in advance?
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Plan things like 10 years in advance.
Like 5, probably.
5 years. There's some stuff that.
Well, he's referenced stuff. He's talked about like Smile before, like arcs before they actually get to what it's about.
Yeah, there's stuff that happened in the first like 50 episodes that show up way down the line.
Yeah, so it's like, is he really planning, or does he kind of have notes on like things he can do, and he just picks it as he goes?
Like, how long was he sitting on his hands for like Zoro's backstory? Because we're still waiting on that.
We're still waiting on some more about that. That's true.
He somehow worked his teacher being like, like into Japanese style, like kimono and everything, into the new arc, which is crazy. That's how many years of difference. That's actually from the beginning of One Piece to now.
There are some people out there who just have a whole story figured out. They just have to do it.
Oda had this brain baby, like.
I mean, he could have, in a sense. I could see one way.
Before I was born.
I can kind of see where he can come up with a couple different characters, right? Like our main cast and some extras that he just really liked. Like
couple?
Well, for the main ones. And then he figured, I'm going to give each of them a big arc and we're going to string them all along somehow. And he figured out how to combine them, create a bigger world, and work that together. It's possible. I'm sure. I mean...
It's scary.
Yeah, it's scary. I don't know. I keep thinking the World Trigger guy...
Maybe Fate can do that.
Daisuke... What was it? Shoot, I forgot his name. Akihara? The World Trigger mangaka is like, he's like, yeah, I've long since already made the ending and how everything's gonna go from point to point. I just gotta make it happen. And then cue health issues, like really bad health issues. He's been like struggling to do it. But like he technically has it all figured out, and I'm just waiting for it now.
Please.
Yeah, I'm like, please stay healthy and get this done eventually.
Maybe if you do a rain dance, it'll happen.
That'd be nice. Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, okay, I'll watch Fate, and hopefully it gives me a little nugget of truth into the world of Fate. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll eventually do a Fate episode.
We should. No, we should just review a Fate series for Series Saturday at some point.
Sure. I mean, I guess maybe once we do all the ones that are out, we can do like an overall.
Let's do the bad one.
Which one's the bad one? Oh, no. Fate Extra?
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that until you mentioned the bad
Extra,
one.
Where it spent like 4 episodes talking about that storybook girl for it to only be like a tiny increment of the plot, actually. And then it spent the next 2 episodes rushing
you're spoiling
to the end.
it. I don't know.
It's not really that much of a spoiler. They spent 4 episodes talking about one character who
that should
be while vaguely interesting. I feel like they spent time on that part of the series because they thought the character was really interesting, when I didn't really feel it. It was a little too long.
Well, I feel like we should just talk about Shaft then, because they're the studio and they've done some interesting things.
I don't really care for Shaft.
Well, you see, I've seen a few of them and I felt like they all kind of let me down the same way that one did.
Oh,
except for their main series, or not main series, but it seems like Monogatari is popular enough. But other than that,
movies.
Yeah, but other than that, the other one I've seen by Shaft did not make me very, very like pleased with how it turned out.
Yeah, Shaft. I feel like they have a problem with characterization, to be honest.
I think they're too slow in their pacing.
They're slow, and they lean on like a quirkiness that just doesn't work with everybody.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like
they lean on being weird, but not in a way that's kind of digestible, like Trigger.
Well, I feel like they're weird. It's just like overly mysterious, and they leave it to you to think about.
Yes, extremely aloof.
Like, even for a series that I knew going into watching the anime, I was like, okay, I can kind of see like Easter eggs occasionally, but at the same time, I'm like, why did you do that? You didn't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't need this air of mystery, but they made it like extra dramatic for dramatic reasons, I guess. But it just didn't really feel like the series. It felt like Shaft, and not like the series it was part of. You know, it's kind of like they put more of their studio presence into the series than like actually doing the series.
Damn. That's kind of savage. But yes, I feel like they do insert themselves.
Right. I mean, that's
into the
kind of
that's
kind of unique in their own way. You know, Trigger's art style does that. I can't really say they get into the story other than they kind of pick the same kind of stories, but
I do have a bone to pick with Monogatari, but we'll pick that up in another episode.
We'll have to have a guest of that one.
That's going to be a deep one, and there's going to be probably a lot, maybe some annoyed people with how I feel about it.
Yeah,
but I'm in line with what you're saying about Shaft for sure.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Monogatari really, other than
Monogatari,
other than the few movies we watched together.
The vampire-y ones.
Yeah, I remember I kept asking where the cat girl was, and you guys were like, "Shut up!" And I'm like, "Oh, she's not in here." I was really disappointed because literally half of what I know about the series is from A&V's.
You remind me of her.
Oh, I did. No, wait. Who's the purple hair girl?
The cat girl.
No, that's Hanekawa's the cat girl. Who's the other purple hair girl?
The other purple.
The one that he gets with, the girlfriend.
Oh, her.
I took
whatever her name
Tsubame
is.
or something.
Nah, don't worry about it.
I took a quiz because I saw someone else doing it, and I got the girlfriend character, but I don't know enough about any of them to like be like that's right or wrong.
She's pretty exemplary of like just gonna lean on a quirk and like snappy or not like half witty dialogue.
Well, I feel like if you took personality quizzes aren't really that great, but like a lot of the Monogatari ones,
personality quizzes.
It was fun. It was just there.
It's not substantive.
Right. Well, a friend took it, and I wanted to see what I would get. But it was kind of like a little halfway through. It kind of gets too like it's too obvious which one you're gonna get. Even though, I didn't know who they were, so I just picked whatever, and that's who I got. Probably not correct, but let me know if you do know. I don't remember her name, but yeah, the purple hair girlfriend.
Yeah, the girl who floats everywhere. And
that's all I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. We kind of went off on a tangent about Shaft.
We did. We went on several tangents.
Yeah.
But today, what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about Mononoke, the anime.
Mononoke, not the princess one.
Right?
Yeah. It's a scary show.
I don't like scary.
It's not that scary.
Okay.
But yeah, we're going to do an old school react kind of style. We're going to play the video and we're going to put our faces in it. Oh my gosh.
Right. I didn't have time to watch the series, so this will be my first time actually seeing it too. Can we comment while we watch it?
Yes, we can.
Great, because I love to talk. Will. All right.
What an episode, eh?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about it?
It's interesting. It's all right. I guess I wouldn't mind watching one or two more. I guess that makes it like good enough in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess another thing is because I already know a lot about Japanese folklore and like their supernatural ghost stories and stuff like that. I have an impression, but I don't know if it's going to turn out the same way.
Do you have any idea of what was happening in that episode? Or like what was going to happen?
Maybe. Well, so Azashiki Warashi is like a ghost or spirit that's usually like a child. And traditionally it's like a young child in like the kimono, and they have like a toy or ball that they play with. and it said that when they come to your home, it's usually like a building or home, and they stay there, they bring good luck to you. But once they leave, like, you get a lot of bad luck. So it's kind of like a thing of like, kind of a way to take care of your home, maybe. Like, if you want to think about why this myth came to be, because it's like, it says that they will come to places that are nice and clean and friendly, and that way you'll have good luck and good fortune.
Well, this particular one is definitely not that.
Well, in a sense,
no.
It might have picked who treated it well as the one that will be okay.
I mean, you're probably not going to continue watching this because you don't like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah,
you don't like scary stuff.
I'm kind of sketched out. There's a part where
I can just tell you what happens for the rest of this arc.
Well, we should wait, like, put a spoiler warning. Okay, here's my guess.
I'll put spoiler warnings before this actual part.
I mean, well, we can do like spoiler to not spoiler parts.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll just add it in. We don't have to be like.
Yeah.
Okay, spoiler now.
All right, if you want to. I was going to speculate more, but sure.
Okay. No, go ahead and speculate. Let me hear it, and then I'll tell you what happens.
Well, there's the part where she drops her good luck charm, which is also in the shape of a child. It was actually the same child that was the character that showed up, I think.
The little monster thing?
Yeah, the one I asked her for the doll. Mm-hmm. The Daruma. I kind of thought that was a Zashikiwarashi, but it's not really the same traditional style, but that's okay. This is really artistic. But if it's in the same shape as her charm, it could be like that one, like that's her charm. It broke to protect her the once, maybe. Mm-hmm. And then the Zashikiwarashi is reacting to something else. And she also is pregnant, and it's usually like a little kid. So in a sense, I would either think that like she's at her lucky, or like the kid is going to be, I don't know. It could also be that the charm fell, so the kid is like not going to be born well, like stillborn or something. Mm-hmm. But because it's supposed to bring good fortune to the house, maybe it got rid of the guy so that there wouldn't be an issue with the house. But then I don't know. Those are kind of like my different speculations about it.
Okay.
I think he's going to kill it. The guy, the main medicine seller dude. Mm-hmm. Does he get a name?
No.
Okay, so the medicine seller. I kind of get the feeling he's the kind of character that will just get rid of it, whether or not it's good or bad.
Are you ready for the truth?
Who knows? Sure.
All right. So spoilers. After this episode that we watched, you're spot on. It's actually a brothel. Used to be a brothel.
Yeah.
And that old lady's got some secrets.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's why you saw all the people in the kimonos looking weird.
Because it's like the whole anonymous
used to be
brothel.
A brothel. Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be a brothel, and the reason that they don't use that room is because that is the room where they performed abortions for prostitutes that got pregnant.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like that. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So there's no bringing fortune to this in this story right now. Not at all.
Yeah.
What they wanted to do, why they protected her in that moment, was because these are unborn children. So all they want is to be born.
Right, and she's stubborn about that, kind of.
Well, they want to use her baby as a host to be born. So they're all trying to get born. So they're trying to possess the baby inside of her. So that's why they protected her from the killer.
Okay.
And so for the rest of for the next episode or two, he gets that truth out of them. That's why when he gets a sword, he needs form, truth, and regret.
In order
form is the specific demon that he's dealing with, the specific monster. The truth is
why they're doing something,
and the regret is like how it why it became evil in a sense.
Okay.
Or where the evilness comes from.
So
the evilness comes from the lady and from the old lady and the receptionist guy.
Right.
They performed the necessary surgeries. Yeah.
So are none of far off into the rest of the series? Are there no generally suspicious kind ones that he meets?
I mean, as you can see right there, I mean, it's not negative or positive, right?
Yeah, but
these children did deserve to be born.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there were any that were just what do you call it? That like just don't really do anything negative. They're just there. That he comes across.
I mean, then how would you really create conflict without that?
That's true. You know? I mean, there's different kinds of stories, right?
I mean, it'd be kind of boring if it was just like here's a monster that's inert and doesn't really do anything.
I guess, but I mean, it could have desires without it being negative. That's what they kind of do in some of the Natsume Yujin show ones. Like, it's just there, he comes across it, he gets to understand it, and then move on.
That's definitely not what this show is about.
That's true. This one is a lot more dramatic.
They're not, I mean, I wouldn't even say they're evil. They just... Yeah, mm-hmm. They're not evil at all. Right. In fact, if anything, it's the people that are evil, and these demons are there to kind of shed light on it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of Zashikiwarashi then. There's another kind that is pertaining to that kind of unborn child like idea or like folklore character they have.
I have no idea about the actual folklore myself.
I read a lot of Clamp and they do all about Japanese folklore.
I see. Maybe this is a super old myth.
There's a lot of old ones. I mean, that's the whole point. It's called folklore, right? And of course, there's a reason why they tell these and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's kind of mixing the two of them that I know together in a sense. Mm-hmm. But yeah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but what I like about this show, visually, mm-hmm. it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. I think it's more willing to do things, it's more willing to do things differently than most other shows. It's like everybody's doing this, I'm going to do this instead. You know, like you saw like the super flat scenes. Mm-hmm. Like looking outside of the hotel and it's just like rain puddles and circles, but completely flat.
It makes like you can definitely tell what it is.
Exactly.
It's very well done in that way. It's not just flat and it's active.
In the way it's an art, but you know, removing dimensionality is just as hard as adding it.
The pacing is interesting. It really leaves it so it's kind of suspenseful with the music.
It's definitely suspenseful.
But a lot of time you're kind of waiting for something to happen and it doesn't, which throws you off.
It's like you're on the edge of a cliff the whole show.
Kind of.
The whole episode, you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah. I can tell great. It seems like they really leave their budget for when they need it, like in the action shots. Otherwise, it's very kind of static in a sense.
It is quite static, but I think they use it quite well. I think they lean into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's very befitting of this kind of style, I guess. Like traditional artwork, but animated, yet not too like modern.
That's true. Mm-hmm. But the backgrounds are incredibly ornate.
Yeah, they are.
Where they need to be.
That's the kind of style it was. Yeah. You know, and very kind of classical in a sense. I mean, the same thing like One Piece does right now, right? Is a kind of like an Edo style. Got the same ornate doors that open and close. The designs.
A little cheesy though.
Yeah, still cheesy. Very overly vibrant and like a.
Was it scary? Do you think this show was
scary?
A
little bit, but it's just as bad as like most of the folklore ones I've seen. So I'm kind of okay with that.
What folklore ones? Like what?
Just other ones that do similar things, like with like ghosts and stuff like that.
Oh, haven't seen any ghost anime.
I mean. I don't know. Natsume Yujin has some scary moments, especially the ones with the dolls. Like that arc was really scary, kind of, and like it does a lot of like the pop up. Like there's this thing that is
jump
watching
scares.
You. Only a little bit. I mean, it has a very different kind of feel of a series, and the intention of it is very different because it's more about like a communication kind of thing, more mellow
instead of like. Conflict with human life.
Well, in that one it's more like only specific people can see them, you know, and they do very little to bother people, kind of in a sense of like,
then what's like the problem of the series that they like tackle? What's the conflict?
The conflict is Natsume himself struggling to live a normal life and figure out like he can see both worlds, right? Like he's a human, but he can see and deal with all these supernatural things, and that has haunted him. Also, he's an orphan, kind of. He had parents when he was young, but I think they passed away or something like that happened. And it's just kind of all out of like putting the two worlds together. Like, can I still be a normal human guy while I'm also able to interact with all these things. And they specifically bother him, right? Because he can see them. And that's a lot more rare nowadays. It's one of those, like, over time, it's not as common kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, they kind of do that
this
the
is
same.
Definitely not in the same vein.
It's very different. I mean, there's always, like, there's also, like, good and evil things that he talks about.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he does what he can to moderate.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes he can't. And that's, like, another conflict he has. And other people like him and how their take on it, right? Like, he's a pacifist. If they can just leave it and everyone's happy, that's fine. But then there are other ones that are, like, more hardcore. Like, there's no way we can tell they're not going to be up to no good. And either we have to have a contract with them or get rid of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And the ones that are, like, in between and, like, want to help him because they personally know him. And then it's like, I don't know, man, you're too naive. Right? It's like the typical story.
I see. But if I had to pick like a style of show, I did watch one episode of Natsume, and I do remember it being really damn boring. It was really slow when I tried to watch it.
The first few seasons it starts off kind of slow.
If
season 4 got really good and very emotional, and I thought it was like really strong. I mean, it's just kind of mellow in a sense. Maybe that's why it's really popular in Japan. It just got this kind of, like, old style vibe, you know, like comforting, I guess, kind of mellow. Like, things happen,
yeah,
but it's kind of, it's always like a bittersweet.
I don't really want that, you know. I don't want to feel comfortable. I like the sense of conflict that Mononoke brings.
Sure, I mean, yeah, I kind of like just not relaxing, but, like, things kind of get figured out in a sense, and I just enjoy that.
I don't know. The first, like, that first arc that we just watched, that first part that we just watched, like, the reason I'm watching it is because something is, like, clearly wrong. Clearly wrong.
Well, yeah.
There's not,
it's
like,
obvious.
Yeah, there's nothing okay about the situation.
Yeah.
And, you know, the drive of the show is finding out what it is and why, you know, the 3 things that he says. Yeah, it does become a little formulaic with the sword, because he literally tells you why what he needs to solve the thing.
That's part of it. He's like, I have to say the speech every time.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, the only reason he's doing this, the reason, like, he's not just born with this power to, like,
well, yeah,
he's not just trying to moderate the life between humans and demons. Like, there's clear conflicts of interest between them. I don't even think it passes a judgment on the demons being all evil. Not really. In the first arc, I mean, the people that get punished are it's the inn woman. It's the woman who runs the inn, because she's the one that allowed all this stuff to happen. She's the one that gets punished at the end. I won't tell you how, but yeah, because it's her fault. But yeah, it's kind of it's using the demons, it's not trying to detail them greatly.
Yeah, but
it's telling you a story about, like, a human problem, and using the demons as a way to kind of get it explained, you know, get the truth, form, and regret, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, that's kind of what it usually is, right?
Like, yeah, could be. But I mean, you just said yourself, like, Natsume, it's not really about people having problems.
I guess.
Like, deep problems, like really scarring psychological problems.
I mean, yeah, sure, some of them have it, I guess. But it's kind of like, I feel like a lot of it is just kind of about communication. Like, there's specific stories where it's like a person, and then, like, if they're a spirit, they don't really notice the passing of time, right? And they're trying to reconnect, and he's like, I don't have to go out of my way for this. But something about, like, he's like a good guy, right? Like, he does at the beginning, he doesn't try to, but he ends up getting pulled in all of these things because he wants to see it get resolved. Like, he wants to help people.
He wants peace.
In the only way that only he can do it. I guess he feels responsible because only he can do it. And, like, he tries to do something, and that sometimes it works out.
I suppose. But even then, that just sounds like kind of passive to me.
Yeah, I mean, guess that's what it is. I mean, I don't like watching like cringy things or things that I know are wrong. Like, I just know they're wrong. I don't care about it other than that.
I like watching like murders. You know, I want to see.
I know you like watching cringy stuff. I don't get it.
It's not cringy. How's it cringy to,
no,
to
I
watch
meant,
like murders or
like
something?
Other things that you're like secondhand embarrassment. I hate that.
Okay,
you kind of
how does
love
this relate?
It's just in the sense of like. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's very different. I just feels like in the end game, we have very different tastes.
I guess. I mean, at the core, you like stories with about resolution, but I like to focus on the conflict.
Yeah, because if I think about the conflict too long, it makes me annoyed. So it
annoys you that they're not resolved.
A little bit.
I don't know. Like it's not very true to life. I feel if everything gets resolved happily.
Well, that's the point of it being fictional.
No. That's not the point of fiction. Well, not to me.
Well, for me,
there's a lot of interpretations of fiction.
Well, of course, yeah.
Fiction is not just an escape. Fiction tells you about real life.
Yeah.
It packages it in a different way, but
that's what I mean. Like I like it packaged in a nice way. I'm annoyed if it's not efficiently finished and done.
If everything ended happily, then you would go on to believe that everything in real life should end happy. You know, it'd be like being a Disney fan.
Yeah, but like things won't be happy.
I guess
we're living in real life regardless.
Yeah, but you're.
I guess. I mean, I know what you mean, but I'm just saying, in the long run, I prefer. I guess. I mean, I would definitely watch this just for like to have done it in the artistic sense and enjoying it, but it definitely wouldn't be something that I like always remember watching.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of shows that I've seen, but I don't usually remember that I've seen it because it was enjoyable. But in the long run, it doesn't like stick to me. Maybe that's why, because Natsume Yujin show really sticks to me.
It's kind of like the way or what do you call it? It's kind of like how I feel about Emiya cooking show. I do like that show.
Yeah.
But, there's no meat to it. There's no problem to solve.
No, it's just...
You really like the show, though.
It's just a bit of slice of life. Because I know normally it's, like, really... not really. Wow, what a word.
In reality?
And actually, the series is a lot of just, like, tragedy and stuff.
But that's what I like about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Because, like, he overcomes most of it. But that one, it's just, like, an extra small slice of life. Like... I like slice of life. I feel like you don't really.
I enjoy the slice of life. I like Amogami.
Yeah, that's but one of my favorite shows. That's a lot more romance than slice of life.
Is romance and slice of life really that different? Oh, okay. The conflict is romance. The conflict in a romance is like love.
Yeah, but sometimes I just want to see people doing everyday things. I'm fine with that.
Cute things, cute boys doing cute things.
Yeah, that's fine sometimes.
All right.
And Emiya is partially cooking, and then the other half is just normal every day, and it's only like 12 minutes long. But this is opening.
True. That makes it a lot more digestible.
It's literally just like 9 minutes, and like 4 minutes of that is cooking. So like we get very little, and that's just the right amount. It works.
I guess
without being like overwhelming the actual series it's about.
Yeah. But you don't get a lot of the ingredients to a good story. You don't get like character growth with that kind of like story.
Yeah,
you don't get a lot of that.
Well,
you can save it for a side series, just like Emiya Cookie.
Yeah, that's exactly a side series. That's what it is.
It should be a side series.
Well, for a different series, I think it just depends on how you do it.
Yeah,
how you package it, I guess. The offer and skill and
how well you
like showing it and how the reader interprets it. That's right. True. Interprets it. Interprets. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. I guess what like turned me off from Natsume when I did try to watch it like a long time ago was that it feels really like low stakes. Like even if he didn't do anything, it wouldn't matter. Or even if he chose to just like live a regular life, then.
Well, that's the thing. He can't choose a regular life.
I mean, he can't choose it. But even
I guess that's
then,
his conflict.
It's I don't know. The stakes don't feel real. The stakes don't feel like it's there. That's just my problem. In
season 3 or 4, we really got to see a lot of that, and that was like kind of high intensity for him.
I mean, you can't really you can't just skip forward in that series, huh?
You kind of can. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is it's kind of formulaic. There's occasional characters that you meet, but you don't necessarily like. There's one or two of them that you can kind of see their change of character over time, like when he meets them, and it kind of introduces new ideas to them, right? And they think about it, and they come back later, and there's like a slight change, maybe not always. And so yeah, you can kind of skip ahead in that series. Occasionally there'll be like a really small flashback, but seasons 3 and 4 really hit that like emotional spot inside you know, where it's like, I think that was a season about his search for home, basically. Mm-hmm. Like, what is his home? How can he feel like he can fit into society?
Okay.
And like, what society? It got really into it, and like, you got to see a glimpse of like when it really changed for him.
Okay.
And that was kind of interesting. I like that one. There's a lot more seasons now. I can't remember. I think there's 6, and I didn't watch 6. But at this point, I'm just reading the manga. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, that's another series I would recommend people. If you want a more mellow, enjoyable time, I guess.
Mushishi? Yeah.
That one's even more slow.
Yeah, it's even slower. I was gonna say we should probably introduce like the third show that's like similar to this.
Yeah, Musashi. Okay, I haven't seen it, but what I've heard about it is...
You haven't seen it?
No, everyone just talks about it, and everyone drew art of it because it's really pretty. But all I know is it's pretty slow, and that's even slower than Natsume Yujincho, which I thought is kind of amazing.
It's, I mean, yeah, it's slow for sure.
Yeah,
I will never doubt that it's.
But I heard it's good.
It is visually nice. The music is good. Mm-hmm. But again, the problem with that series is that there's no conflict to really like focus on and to feel like you need resolution. It's kind of just...
Isn't the same as like Kino's Journey?
It's kind of like, no, I mean, yeah.
Those are all kind of like observer style things.
Kino's Journey, like Kino is more interested in... Not interested in, really. But she's more prone to solving problems than the others.
Oh, she does? Okay, like, I didn't know that. She doesn't... I thought she just went and watched and then left.
She can be a bit observant in some arcs. That's definitely true. But, you know, she does have a gun.
Sure, what? A gun does everything, huh?
Well, I'm just saying, the gun is like... The gun is the basis of action, you know? It means that she's going to use it for something, guess. You know?
That's true. I guess
the gun is symbolic. It's not that it's a gun.
It's symbolic of something.
It's that, you know, Mononoke guy has a sword. So what's he gonna do? He's gonna use it, you know?
Or not. Just kidding.
He's gonna
Maybe
use it.
The whole point is he doesn't use it.
Kino has a talking motorcycle and a gun, you know?
Wow,
at some
talking
point,
motorcycle.
She's gonna shoot the gun.
The motorcycle's
you know?
better.
It's like the weapon is like the basis of defining conflict in these shows.
Interesting.
Yeah, or like, you know, telling you that conflict will happen.
Yeah.
Point. You know, Mushishi doesn't really have that. It's just like this guy is like chilling, walking around. Then he sees something weird happen. Here's some guy's story about it. Like, oh yeah, I usually cut logs around this time, and at night there's like ghosts around the trees. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, really? And then cuts like to that night, and he's looking and like, oh shit, there's ghosts by that tree. And then...
So you're telling me he's a stoner?
He's kind of a stoner. Like, he's just...
I'm joking, he's not, but
like... Mushishi is like true observer. Like, he really is just there to watch.
A ghost, like a supernatural fanatic.
His entire... Like, the Mushishi guy, his entire shtick is to have somebody to explain to, like, the side characters.
Yeah. There's probably a lot.
The side characters like walk into him, and then they tell him, and so we learn about like what's going on, what the problem is, what's happening.
I see. He's a PhD student doing research.
What?
Just kidding.
What?
It just sounds like he's listening. He's taking notes. You know.
He's just there. He's just a sponge for dialogue, and then
I see. Yeah, he kind of sounds like that.
The rest just happens. Yeah,
that's a PhD student.
And yeah, that's kind of my bone to pick with the show. It's still a good show for some occasions, like sometimes. But overall, I would much prefer Mononoke. Out of all the shows that we talked about, I would take Mononoke because the conflict is more clearly defined.
Yeah, that makes
sense. It gives me something to attach to. Like maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just me, and I just need something to attach to because I'm weak and I can't stay in a story without like with a very rough conflict going on.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Anyway, I give Mononoke like a 7.5.
Okay.
Out of 10. Great visuals, great style, very quirky, but you know it can be a little rough around the edges, and it's not for everybody. I'll admit that. What do you give that episode that you watched?
Like a 6.5, maybe.
A 6.5. Okay.
Well, I feel like sometimes if it's really quirky, it kind of has as its own like separate stat, you know.
Quirk define. Kosei.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes it's like for example, if every character had this happened a lot in some older series I read, where they would give like each character a stat, and then the last stat would just be something that pertains specifically to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this person's really good at cooking.
Do that?
Or
Favorite
I can't
food?
remember. Well, they have things like favorite likes and dislikes. But I'm talking about where it's like strength, agility, speed,
elasticity.
Yeah, you know, like defense, and then the last one would just be something completely random that only they have. You know, like
that's just kind of
good
cute,
at cooking,
you know?
an artist, great at music.
That's like
good
a
taste.
cute little detail. Does that like reduce your enjoyment of it?
No, I just mean for this one.
Oh,
it's quirkiness. Oh,
that's how you feel about
its quirkiness. Its art style is so unique. It's kind of like its own separate category.
It is. You should probably just.
I feel
watch
like I can't compare it with any other generic anime.
You should probably just watch this one for watching this one's sake.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like you should watch it because it's cool and like unique.
It's a conversation piece.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's great or bad, you know? Yeah, it's a conversation.
It's like a sculpture that you buy for your house.
Why did you buy a sculpture for your house?
Yeah, it's just Exactly. It's just a conversation piece.
I bought the sculpture from Etsy.
It's just a conversation piece. People will be like, "What the hell is that?" And you'll be like, "Oh, da 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 da."
Yeah, it's kind of like that. That's why I give it like a 6.5 so far.
Yeah, fair enough.
But also just because it's like more your style than my style, slightly felt like I got a little bit of a bias to not like it.
What? In what way?
Just like, I don't know. Maybe because the spoilers you gave me just kind of like doesn't seem like my kind of show. I give it like slightly lower.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like I'll give it like a.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, I don't even feel that strongly about this show anyway.
Yeah, but it's interesting.
If I had to pick like a scary anime, like I do like this one more than like the Junji Ito series, which sucks.
And I haven't seen it, so
what's another? We were deciding if we were going to talk about another.
It was kind of just hyped for a while, and I personally don't really like. It is creepy. I read the manga for it. It's not very creepy at all. It's gross. That's the thing. It's kind of just like bloody, and I don't really like. I don't like horror, and I just get annoyed of bloody. Not my kind of cup. Not my cup of.
Not my tea of cup.
Yeah, sure.
Not my teacup.
Not my teacup. You know what I mean, right? It's not my taste, and that's okay. If you have more of my kind of taste stuff, like recommend me some different shows, and I'll watch those.
Mishishi, Spice and Wolf.
Nah, I don't want any of those. I've already got like a taste of them, and
Spice
I'm like,
and Wolf. You don't like it?
No, I didn't watch it. It's just like generally what I know about it. I'm like, it seems good. I'm just not that interested.
It's a good show.
Sure, yeah, I could believe that.
It's quality. It's like isekai before it was cool.
That's a lot of isekai before it was cool.
No, but this one is like before it was cool, but good.
Sure.
It was before it was cool, but it was good.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of a lot, but sure. All right. Is that it? Should we do our final outro? We've been on outro for a while.
No, I just switched it.
Oh, okay, great. All right. Well, what are we going to talk about on Tuesday? I am not here on Tuesday.
All right.
Unless you want to skip it.
It's going to be a solo.
Or if you can find someone.
Or I can find a guest.
It's probably solo, though. Okay, so what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about? You should talk about Fate without me.
Fate.
It'd be really funny.
I should get somebody who doesn't know anything about Fate, and I should try to explain it to them.
Good luck.
I don't know anybody who
doesn't
know
Fate.
Yeah,
you don't know anyone who doesn't. I mean, sure, there's a couple people, but nah, I don't think you're gonna be able to pull them in for this one.
I don't really want to talk about Fate.
You don't have to. I just thought it'd be funny if there was like
it's gonna be a topic.
If there was an episode that you talked about and then I reviewed it for our following episode and I would have been like, you're wrong.
Stupid.
Fine. Well, Josh, what do you want to do?
I want to do a tier list.
Okay, of what?
Let me think.
He's taking his time.
Well,
I know. I take my time all the
Jeez.
time. What? I thought you already had some ideas.
I'll do a tier list of Pokemon characters.
Of Pokemon characters?
Yeah, characters.
Is that going to include like only protagonists or all the gym leaders?
It's going to be the anime characters.
Anime. Okay. I haven't seen half of the anime, so that's fair.
Well, I mean, it's going to be the main characters of the anime, so, you know.
Well, you mean,
his companions?
No, that's what I mean, is like I haven't seen like XY or like Diamond and Pearl.
Just know that they're crap.
All right, well, okay, there you go.
Dawn is going to be good, but.
All right, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for them next week. All right, so.
Okay, so next week, Pokemon. Pokemon side character tier list.
Trying to type it in.
Pokemon side character tier list. I'm gonna put Tracy Sketchit right up there on S, and I'm gonna put Brock in B for Brock.
For Brock?
Just kidding. I would never dream of doing that.
All right, well, we can talk about it next week. Don't spoil too much.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll make a new tier list, and we'll also post it when it's ready. So feel free to do your own too. All right, I think that's about it. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.